Welcome back, AP Environmental Science. Here we go, human health and environmental risk. While humans face a large number of health risks, we have an excellent understanding in the importance of health factors and the ways that we have to combat these diseases. And that's done through our history with them. Combating disease in low-income countries requires improvements in nutrition and a wider availability of clean drinking water and even proper sanitation. In high-income countries, we need to promote healthier lifestyle choices, as increase our physical activity and a balanced diet, and limiting excess food consumption and even tobacco use. And in all countries, continued education is the need to reduce the spread of disease, even like HIV and tuberculosis. As we combat many diseases, an issue of growing concern in the ability of these pathogens to evolve resistance will happen. And as we've noted in the case of tuberculosis, patients often feel much better for longer periods of time, and so they like it. It can be even a year before you're prescribed medicine and the virus has already taken hold. So because you feel better, or because you cannot afford a full year of drugs or whatever the regimen is for drugs, stopping a treatment early has become a problem, and that's also led to the evolution of these bacteria and viruses. This allows a small fraction of these highly resistant bacteria strains to survive inside of the body, and then they reproduce, and then they potentially spread to other people. And so when the pathogen evolves this resistance to drugs, physicians often prescribe a different drug to combat that pathogen. And so over time, more and more pathogens are evolving to become drug resistant. So without new drugs, little can be done for patients with pathogen strains that are resistant to multiple strains of drugs. So a similar issue occurs when there's an increase of antiseptic cleaners. If you've ever heard this story, um, these these antiseptic cleaners, they are basically used to kill microbes and bacteria. And as of 2014, more than 2,000 different antiseptic cleaners are being sold, and including a large number of antimicrobial soaps. And these products typically kill a large portion of harmful pathogens, but it doesn't kill all of them. And so, as a result of our efforts to wipe out pathogens, we have inadvertently selected for the pathogens that have the real strong resistance to any of our efforts that we have put in to kill them. And so, these products have also moved through our wastewater treatment system and into our streams, our rivers, and our lakes. So, the irony here is that it is unclear that antiseptic kills microbes any better than just plain old soap. Because of these concerns, in 2013, the U.S. FDA, they basically announced that they were considering new rules that would require manufacturers to conduct research to demonstrate that their antiseptic cleaner really was more effective than just plain old soap. Regardless of what you may understand, infectious disease is about to become an even greater challenge for your generation. New diseases often arise from new pathogens that we have no experience understanding. And since we cannot predict which diseases will emerge, public health officials throughout the world must develop this rapid response plan in order to um, fight particular diseases that can appear. And needs to include some sort of rapid worldwide notification system. There's no real good notification system when a new disease emerges. And newly identified diseases and strategies to isolate this infected person or this infected area. That's going to, otherwise, it's just going to spread like slowly, and the disease will eventually take its toll over time. And researchers need to develop appropriate tactics to combat these threats. See, the world's gotten out of control with this hand sanitizer solution. And so by hand sanitizer, we have essentially allowing nurses and doctors and people in the medical profession, anyone at CVS or Walgreens or any of those other places, they think that you can just use some hand sanitizer and it's going to kill 99% of the bacteria on your hands. And although it might kill 99% of the bacteria on your hands, The percentage that's left over are superbacteria. And guess what you've done is you've created a vast landscape of nutrition for these superbacteria to grow because you have killed all of their competitors. And by killing their competitors, you allow them to flourish. And then you touch everything. See, the research for just using normal high basic hydroxides and soaps is no different than those that are used to combat. There's no difference in human health when it comes to washing your hands or using that antimicrobial because the surfactant inside of soap basically emulsifies the cell walls of all of the bacteria and viruses too that live on your hands. And so by then it just kind of like pops open their membranes and they spill out and die and they can be washed away. And soap is very non-judgmental. Anti antibacterial antiseptic solutions like the alcohol and stuff, unfortunately, they target particular things that are easily susceptible to the drying of alcohol. And so by that, you have left tough superbacteria and viruses behind. So when it comes to good health, there's nothing that beats just washing your hands. In fact, perhaps you should research the midwife situation. Like, what was so important about having a midwife? Doctors, there was a huge rate of infant deaths during amongst doctors. But midwives were thought to be less than doctors. And so, by being less than doctors, they had to wash and clean their hands before they could deliver infants. Well, the mortality rate for infants went way down if you used a midwife. And that's how they got their name and they gained their popularity amongst women in childbirth. And it was just because all they did was wash their hands.